Let's talk about the Browns. Drew Petzing gone. For those that didn't know, he was the quarterback coach here for a couple of years. His connection to Kevin Stefanski, obviously they worked together in Minnesota. He also worked with Jonathan Gannon for 4 years in Minnesota. Gannon now is the head coach at Arizona. He needed an offensive coordinator. This is a big hire. This is a really important hire for this franchise. That's why I'm so surprised that they're going with someone who doesn't even have coordinator experience. Are the Browns going to miss this guy?
I mean, none of us really know for sure because we don't know what kind of relationship he had with Deshaun Watson. But on the surface, it seems like not a big deal. Obviously, Deshaun Watson didn't play well last year. I'm not going to blame Drew Petzing at all. I think there's obvious circumstances as to why that happened. But I don't think it's a big deal. In a way, it could end up being a good thing because maybe they find somebody that has some experience previously with Deshaun Watson.
I would think Deshaun would have a voice in the hire,
you think
right?
he might have a voice in that. And so, again, without knowing for sure, because we don't know for sure what kind of influence he had on the quarterback, I don't think it's a big deal.
How the heck how is he a coordinator? They hired him with the Cardinals?
And listen, and look how big that job is.
Well, they have a relationship.
Gannon is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So he's essentially the offensive head coach.
And the NFL is about who knows who.
Well, 100%.
That's all it is, right?
100%.
So you, my dude, my guy, we were college roommates together. Come on in, you done the thing. You never had a job before, no problem. Come on over and get this job.
I'm waiting for y'all to own a station somewhere. Yeah, I'm coming right over. Yeah, my boy G. Bush, he about to do everything.
Right.
But he's never been in the circus.
He's the GM now.
You know what I can promise you? I can promise you that in your near future, you're going to rely. Somebody is going to say, "I know this guy who knows that guy." You have to network. You have to be in the game for a minute.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I don't think it's just football or even
no. That's how it works out here. Real world.
If you look at Tito's coaching staff,
for
the most part,
yeah,
he had ties with all of them. It's who you feel comfortable with. Now, if Paramount came to you and said, "G. Bush, we're about to start a stream show that's going to go national, and it's yours. Your name, you have full control." You're going to hire people that you've worked with.
Super fast.
That's how it works.
Yes.
That is why.
And you should. Hell, Earl's on our staff because he knows you guys.
Here's the problem with that, Jay. The problem is because they're talented people out here, right? And it isolates those people to never have an opportunity to do those type of jobs. And I sit up here and say, you should have. We were talking about Eric Bieniemy, right? Eric Bieniemy has done all the requisite things, right?
That's ridiculous. He doesn't have a job. It's ridiculous.
But the same thing happens in college basketball, college football. You people stay with people that they're familiar with.
If you got a head coaching job in the NBA tomorrow, you already know who your first calls would be.
Well, I'm gonna go into my own Rolodex of people that I trust.
1,000%.
Not just trust, but that I know what I know, right?
Yes.
And so I stay there. Here's the problem. When I put a staff together, I can't bring in everybody I know, right?
Of course not.
I've got to bring in some people.
You've got 4 jobs, maybe.
Right.
You're going to fill them with the 4 people.
Let's be clear. Sometimes you benefit from this. Like Joe Woods. Listen, so Joe Woods was here. We railed on Joe Woods. But one thing you can say, Joe Woods understands how to play the game. Never said nothing. He didn't rock the boat. He didn't move nothing. And you know what Stefanski said? I appreciate you for doing that. And what I'm going to do is make sure you're good. I'm going to land somewhere soft.
Yeah.
And he got another job. And that's why it's so rare to hear coaches.
I'm not sure that Stefanski had anything to do with that, though.
Well, he could have fired him during the year. And then,
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, when you look around here, and I just had this conversation, ironically, on Saturday this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So Ohio State's problem, men's basketball problem, is this exact problem, right? Because you look on the staff, and there is nobody that has any alliance with anyone else, right? Except for Chris.
Really?
Yes. We don't know these dudes. We know them. I don't know none of them.
Well, he had an alliance to these coaches.
Right. But the problem is the people that you're relying on need other people. You need to get into Cleveland. You need to get to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You need to get in these areas.
So that's coming into a territory.
No.
It is different because of recruiting.
Here's the problem. When you have, because he had 2 openings this year.
Yeah.
2 openings. We implored him to bring in somebody from our side of the ledger, right?
Yeah.
Like, At least give him an interview.
Right.
Because when you go
And-
into the house, so they can understand
Especially
and
with
identify.
this. Yeah,
Didn't
especially
want to
with
do
that.
it because I understand he was more comfortable with somebody he knows, right?
Right.
Now the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
And don't be calling nobody.
Yeah, well, no, he's done.
Don't be calling nobody.
I mean, it feels like it's a fait accompli.
You know what they do like that? What happens when it comes? You know what they do?
Nobody.
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
But getting it back to the Browns for a minute, I do think this is a good opportunity for them to find a guy who fits with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Right.
You know, Petzing was already part of the organization. He became the quarterback coach last year, but he'd been with the Browns since the whole time Stefanski was here.
Yes.
So
He brought him from Minnesota.
You know, but now to bring in a guy who's specifically being brought in, hey, you got to help get Deshaun Watson right.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I think it works out for the Browns.
For me, it does not have to be a guy that he knows, right? But I tell you what, it better be a guy that knows quarterbacks and how to rebuild them.
Yeah, typically if it's not someone that you've got a relationship with, it's someone who has an impeccable track record and reputation.
Right, like here we go. This is what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Who worked with Brady?
Think about how important that job is in Arizona.
You have to get players out of their own way because sometimes players say, well, I know the way. Well, sometimes you don't know the way. You think you know the way. So if you had a person
McNuggets.
that really understands what to do, he could help Deshaun because Deshaun Watson needs help.
Yeah, well, he's going to.
So I scavenged the internet this morning for every article I could find from The Athletic to Sports Illustrated on some potential replacements for Petzing. And these were the three names that circulated. You can take it full, Steve. James Urban, who's the current quarterback coach in Baltimore. T.C. McCartney, who is the current tight ends coach for the Browns, who was previously a quarterback's coach in Denver. And Brandon Streeter, who was Deshaun Watson's quarterback coach at Clemson, who's now been in the NFL for a few years. So
That's who's going to get the job.
those
like
were the
that.
three names that have circulated as potential replacements.
Why-
And obviously, it could be someone besides that. but
How
those
could
are the
James
three.
Urban even leave Baltimore for the same job?
You could leave for any job.
Well,
If they give him permission.
and the writing could be on the wall for major changes. A lot of the mocks have Baltimore taking a quarterback.
That'd be crazy.
Well, only if they trade Lamar.
No. There are mock drafts that say they're going to draft Lamar's replacement whether he's there or not.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but I've seen it in more than one mock, which is
Why
interesting.
does it make sense?
When I saw it in the first mock draft, I
Why
thought,
does it make sense?
well, you've got to prepare.
Yeah.
No, listen,
And from
this
that
is the
standpoint-
game.
But listen, I'm not
You're
talking
out.
second or third round. I saw two mocks with Baltimore taking a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I
I
can see
think that's
that.
stupid.
I can see it.
I mean, they drafted
I can
Jordan
see
Love
it.
to get rid of.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers was old.
They drafted Aaron Rodgers to get rid of Brett Favre,
And that
they
was
drafted Jordan Love to
But-
get rid of. And
But
now
A, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were both old at the time they drafted these
They got
quarterbacks.
Steve Young.
B, they were wrong to draft Jordan Love. It was stupid.
well, they're
If
taking.
only if he's not good.
Yeah.
If he, if
And,
he's
and
good,
by the way,
it worked.
I read an article this morning where a long-time reporter that covered the Green Bay Packers for like 40 years. He just retired in 18.
I just
think.
saw that.
He said Packers are done with him.
Yeah, he did.
Done.
He said.
In fact, they used a word. They're disgusted.
Yeah.
Is
With
Jordan
him.
Love-
Now, all of a
with-
sudden,
No, I
with,
think the
Aaron
most
Rodgers.
recent.
For a while.
Well,
That's
he's
been brewing.
just now emerging from his cave of darkness.
Yeah. So I've
And
never.
I think they basically said, enough of the freak show with your mushrooms
Right.
and all of your nonsense that you've given the organization that has really been a distraction.
It's
he's
coming
such a
out.
pain in the
Enough
ass.
of
It's
all
coming
of that.
out now.
And remember, we saw Jordan Love for a half of football last year on, I believe, a Monday night game when Aaron hurt the hand. And the offense didn't sputter at all. He looked great. Now,
Yeah,
very
we'll see.
small body
Yeah.
work. But when they drafted Jordan Love, they believed that he was the ultimate answer. I think what they're looking at now is he's $59 million against the cap.
Yeah.
He ain't worth that.
I think they're looking at this saying, it's time.
It's time.
It's a wrap.
Even if we go 7-11 next year, 7-10,
Yeah.
let's pass the torch. Let's move on from the nonsense.
I'll be
of Aaron
surprised
Rodgers.
if Jordan Love's any good because if he was that good, why would they have re-signed Rodgers last
Because
year?
Aaron Rodgers was that good.
Well,
Yeah, but it was last year. I mean, they had him in his system for 2 years.
even
already.
if
Yeah, well,
if
he's
Jordan
got-
Love is really good,
Aaron Rodgers has
Aaron Rodgers is still a better option. But I think now they're weighing everything,
Also-
cost and the ancillary
Yeah.
bull crap that they have
didn't
to put
play
up
that
with.
well.
The
this year.
four-
Also, Aaron Rodgers has a lot of clout and moxie in Green Bay. He does to the fan base. He does, right? And it's awful hard for a franchise to break away clean in the beginning.
Well, they went through that with Brett Favre.
But you understand that the Packers stockholders are the Packers fans, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's hard to just slice, right?
Sure.
Well,
You will get to a point where you like time.
Before we get
That's
to this
where they
Jalen Hurts question with Deshaun Watson, let me ask you guys this. If you're a team that you think you're a quarterback away from being a legit contender, like the Jets, for example.
Yeah.
Do you, like Derek Carr's an upgrade over what the Jets have, certainly.
Absolutely.
But I think if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I think part of the reason he struggled early last year is because he had that bad thumb.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he's still significantly better than Derek
Still
Carr,
a top
in
10
my
quarterback.
opinion. So if you're a team like the Jets, do you wait to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers? Or do you say, hey, I can't wait. Derek Carr's an upgrade. I got to go get him.
I'm gonna take
because Derek Carr's a free agent right now.
I'm gonna take Derek Carr. You know why? I'm gonna take it. I'm in New York.
Aaron Rodgers will not do well in New York.
I was going to just say that.
Neither will Derek Carr, for the record.
Derek-
for different reasons.
But Derek Carr will leave it on the field. He's going to be a shining example in the locker room. You ain't going to have no problems with him. Is he the greatest quarterback? Is he a top 10 quarterback? No. Is he a top 15? Probably, maybe.
He's better than any quarterback the Jets have had since Chad Pennington, probably.
Yeah, they're in a spot because you ultimately have to start thinking. Here's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Neither one of these guys are long-term solutions. And when you're the Jets, when you're in a spot, that's why, ideally, the perfect scenario is to be the Bengals. Suck at the right time. And they did.
Yeah.
And they had Joe Burrow fall from the heavens into their lap. When the Browns sucked, they had a lot of things fall in their lap, but they missed on all of them.
Right.
They thought they got Baker right. They didn't. So ultimately, if you're the Jets and you go with Carr, you've got maybe 5 years. If you go with Aaron Rodgers, you have maybe 2, but you're in that quarterback purgatory still.
Who drafted that kid from BYU? Who drafted him?
The Jets.
Who? The general manager.
He's still there.
He's still there. Douglas.
Unacceptable.
Who's a really good GM.
No, he got to go. You can't move.
That's on his track record.
You cannot miss that.
He just drafted the 2 rookies of the year in the same class.
But think about this.
Kudos to you.
As big
you
as
set the franchise back
as big as a bust that people may think of Baker, not really, because Baker broke a rookie record. He won you 10 to 11 games.
He won a playoff game.
He won a playoff game. That guy can't even play. He can't
he's
get
a
on the
nightmare.
field.
When they drafted
number
him,
2,
I
was just like, what?
The Jets never get it right.
No,
They're worse
they
than the
don't.
Browns with quarterbacks. But this
are.
guy has drafted well besides that.
It's good, and that just goes to show you, as good as he's drafted.
Yeah.
And he's put the 2 rookie of the year. That just goes to show you, if you miss at that, you're done.
The one thing I'll say, though, is I would take Derek Carr, Jay, because look at what you said. Derek Carr
I'm not saying not to take him. I'm just saying
but
you're
5
still
years,
in the quarterback hunt.
Nowadays, 5 years, okay, I'll take it. And if you're the Jets, you find another quarterback maybe later round that you draft and can develop behind him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Derek Carr. I'm not messing around with no
why do you think Derek Carr couldn't last in New York, Mike? I understand Rodgers, but why Derek Carr?
Well,
He's
we've
pretty
seen him
sensitive
cry
guy.
in news conferences. And,
but
I'm not gonna point any fingers and be the machismo, you can't cry. But there were unnamed teammates that said that guy's never going to win.
Oh,
after
I
that
thought
day,
his teammates loved him.
They do in terms of his toughness on the field. But bro, that was a terrible look.
Yeah.
That's your leader, and it's just not a good look.
I mean, Josh McDaniels does things to people. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like when they play up underneath him, like if your quarterback is crying because it's like, yo, I'm putting all this work in and it's futile. They had a good team. You got Devontae Adams. You had Josh Jacobs.
People thought they could possibly
everybody
win the
thought
West.
the AFC West was going to be the best division ever.
We said it here.
And they just melted.
And besides the Chiefs, nobody in that division won a playoff game.
They just melted.
The other 2 of the 3 didn't make it.
I mean, he drafted Tim Tebow in the first round.
Yes, he did.
It's hard as a player when you put everything you got into something,
Well,
and you know you're not going to win because of the people that's in your organization holding you back.